Spaza shops are shops, all these kiosks we have around in Nigeria. So those are things they call Spaza shops in South Africa. And it's so funny how today is a deadline for Spaza shop registration, and most people were not able to register because of the deadline they gave them, and it was short notice, and some people were not able to get all the documentation they needed to register these Spaza shops. It will shock you to know that the people who have registered for the Spaza shops are foreigners. Like, they had 95% turnout of foreigners and just a few. In short, let me say 98%. If I say 95%, then I'll be doing them so much good. And then they're asking the man who was the spokesperson, what do you think would have been the issue that Spaza shops are being registered by majorly foreigners? The truth is, South Africans are lazy. They are lazy, like, especially their men. They are really, really lazy. So they don't like doing anything. They just want to wait on the government to hand them that's for handouts, like stipends. The government gives them stipends, so they are very comfortable with those stipends. They don't see it as anything bad for them to just sit down and being handed out those kind of things. They don't see it as anything. Okay, so that's the problem. This man was asked, why is this happening? And he explained that from the time they started registration till this time, they have had just a handful of South Africans who are indigenous. Everything. I think now the war as in WAR, is in between the indigenes and the foreigners. But these foreigners are not really your problem. As far as I'm concerned, the foreigners are not your problem, because for some reasons, YouTube has been recommending South African content to me, because they know that I'd maybe watched one of the videos, and then subsequently they recommend a lot of South African videos, and once in a while I click on one or two to watch. Sometimes I just allow it to play on my phone, so I'm giving them views. So I just put my second phone and allow it to just watch. Let me hear what they are saying. And what I feel for South Africans, honestly, the black South Africans, what I really feel for them, I feel it's empathy. As in, I feel for them, it's like there's something they really need to heal from. I'm not saying this for them to like me. I'm not saying this for them to come to my channel and subscribe. No, I don't even need that kind of energy. But what I'm saying in essence is that South Africans need to look inward and look for something to do with themselves. They need to look for something to do with their time. They need to look for something to really do, because it's becoming tiring for people to constantly, did you hear the word market, to constantly push this narrative that South Africans don't want to work. And it's really true. Now, if you look at it critically, it's true, because the person who was interviewed is a South African, and they're asking him. And I know the reason why the presenter was busy and asking these questions. He was on about the questions and all that. He was asking these questions so that he could know why they do not like to do the Spaza shops. The truth is that most of them have Spaza shops, but they will lease it out to foreigners, the same foreigners they don't want. Okay, fine, let us assume that the foreigners now leave the country and allow you to do it. Will you be able to do these Spaza shops? These Spaza shops are shops that are like kiosks, like I mentioned earlier, where people who have not been paid salaries on time, or they don't have money, they could go there because the people know them in that area, and they could take things on credit. And by the time they take these things on credit, it's going to be like, okay, we have taken these things on credit, we'll pay when we have the money. But if now the Spaza shops are run by the foreigners, and the foreigners now hop and leaves, like most foreigners are actually leaving South Africa right now because of the lies, because of the banter, because of the way they treat them. They call them quere, and all of those names they call them. And the thing is, it's so funny that I saw a Nigerian YouTuber saying, why is somebody calling South Africans quere? It's South Africans that call Nigerians and other foreigners quere. And then when you call them their own name, they become offended. And then some people who are South African pleasers, they want to twist the coin. I'm waiting to see the day where a Nigerian will come out who is always attacking Nigerians, who come out to say the truth and say that, oh, these people have been coming for Nigerians, so it is now our turn to retaliate. Because you cannot constantly be bullying people, disrespecting them, and expect them to now worship you. And some of the South Africans will say, oh, Nigerians don't have respect, they don't like to respect them because it's their country. So it's your country. Because it's your country, it's enough reason for someone to now be the one respecting you while you do not have respect. You are so disrespectful. See the way you were speaking about your president. You were disrespectful. You were, talking to your president in a manner that didn't even sound okay. I just looked at you. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? That is supposed to be your president, right? He is supposed to be your president. But by the time you disrespect him, you don't, listen to anything he says, and you feel that it's okay for other people to respect you in return. When you don't respect people, you don't even respect your president. I'm not going to hold pray for your president like I've said in my other videos, because politics is not something that I will never support a politician against indigents. No, I won't do that. I will never support a politician against the masses. I'm always with the masses, because politicians will come and go, but the masses remain. Yes. So if something is wrong, we'll call it that is wrong. So let us read what the excuse that people gave on the comment section. It's so sad that most people who have applied for these things, they said you must be a South African to own a Spaza shop. And I told you guys that most of these people who are applying, it's not that the application automatically grants you access. No. They have so many applicants who are foreigners, and the foreigners now are not going to be giving the clearance. But if South Africans who registered will not still do the business, they'll still give it to foreigners. So if they are saying foreigners cannot do Spaza shops in their country, then they are joking. Because now they're asking the man, are you saying that because the Spaza shops are not owned by the indigents like South Africans, so they cannot? You say, well, they don't run Spaza shop, but their own is to stay to watch what they are doing and see what the conclusion will be, if they will now give permits to those who are non-South Africans. And South Africans are very good at blame game. They blame everybody but themselves. And now, if they are not blaming Nigerians, they are blaming foreigners. If they are not blaming foreigners, they are blaming their government. Somebody said on the comment, say, ANC failure is complete. The black child is now in a worse position than during apartheid. This one says some will still remain arrogant to that fact. And this one said the next one is to go to shimbins and taxes. And this other one says Spaza shop is not a scarce skill. This one say true. This one say turns out it is. This one say rotten expired food is a new product to sell after all, not done before in South Africa. This person said that's not the point. The point is local Spaza shops belong to South Africans. Secondly, ShopRite, Pick and Let Spa super saves must open mini markets or Spaza shops in townships, working together with local businesses, people, and employing locals as part of their job creation. And this person said, I don't think we need foreign nationals for Spaza shops. We have been surviving before it is started. This person said, you need individuals like Herman Mashaba who establish businesses in run such to run such programs. This one says Spaza business is a honeypot out here in South Africa. And this one says after the ANC wonders why more and more people are not voting them. And this one says well done ANC. Think about it. The struggle for liberation was primarily about economic emancipation. And they wrote this one say Aldrin, I follow you on radio. This one say do the quality to run business in our country. Do they have R5 millions? That's 5 million rands and vice versa. Can this list of all Spaza shop who registered be publicized for public comment? Hi, South Africans. No problem, it's fine. But the truth is, why are South Africans not applying as much as foreigners? Because they are lazy. And some of them who are even registering will give it out to a foreigner to still run it. Stop being lazy. God forbid.